Have you ever trusted someone completely, only to discover that you never really knew them? You told them your plans, your fears, your weaknesses. You believed they were genuinely happy for you. Then one day, something changed. Maybe they stopped answering. Maybe they started treating you differently. Maybe something you told them privately somehow became public. Or perhaps they were only around when you were useful to them. And suddenly, you found yourself asking a painful question. Was this person ever really my friend? That question can change the way you see people. After being betrayed, some people become desperate for new friendships. Others go in the opposite direction. They stop trusting everyone. They build walls. They tell themselves, "I'll never let anyone get close to me again." But Stoicism teaches something more intelligent than either extreme. It doesn't tell you to hate people, and it doesn't tell you to trust everyone. It teaches you to see people clearly. Because there is a dangerous difference between being kind and being naive. You can love people without depending on them for your peace. You can trust someone without handing them control over your life. You can forgive someone without giving them unlimited access to you, and you can walk away from a relationship without becoming bitter. This is the art of wise trust, and today, we're going to explore it through the lens of Stoic philosophy. But before we continue, understand something. The title of this video says, "No one is your friend." But that isn't a literal claim that friendship is meaningless. It's a challenge to stop assuming that everyone who smiles at you has your best interests at heart. A challenge to stop confusing familiarity with loyalty. A challenge to stop giving people unlimited access to your thoughts, your plans, your emotions, and your future simply because they've been around for a while. Because the Stoics understood something that remains true thousands of years later. Trust should be earned through character, not granted through words. And once you understand that, you become calmer. You stop chasing approval. You stop panicking when someone walks away. You stop telling everyone everything, and most importantly, you stop allowing another person's behavior to determine your peace. Stay until the end, because the final lesson isn't really about other people. It's about the relationship you have with yourself. And that may be the most important relationship you'll ever have. Let's begin. Lesson 1: Stop calling everyone a friend. One of the first mistakes we make with people is giving them a title they haven't earned. Friend, loyal friend, best friend, family, trusted person. We use these words quickly, sometimes far too quickly. Someone talks to you every day, and you call them a friend. Someone laughs with you, and you assume they care about you. Someone agrees with you, and you believe they're loyal. But time spent together doesn't automatically equal loyalty, and agreement doesn't automatically equal friendship. A true friend isn't simply someone who enjoys your company. A true friend is someone whose character remains consistent when your interests no longer benefit them. Think about that. Anyone can be kind when everything is going well. Anyone can celebrate you when you're winning. Anyone can stand beside you when you're useful. The real test comes when you have nothing to offer. When you disagree. When you succeed beyond them. When you set boundaries. When you say no. When you stop giving them what they want. That's when character becomes visible. This is one reason the Stoics place so much importance on character. They weren't impressed by appearances. They cared about virtue, wisdom, self-control, justice, courage. A person could speak beautifully, but if their actions constantly contradicted their words, the words meant very little. And that's something you should remember in your own life. Don't listen only to what people say about loyalty. Watch what they do. Don't judge people only by how they treat you when they need you. Watch how they treat people who cannot help them. Don't only observe how someone behaves when you're successful. Watch what happens when you succeed beyond their expectations. Character reveals itself over time. And time is one of the greatest filters you have. You don't need to interrogate everyone. You don't need to become suspicious of every person you meet. Simply stop rushing to trust. Let people reveal themselves naturally. There is no need to force a conclusion. There is no need to decide immediately whether someone is good or bad. Observe. Listen. Watch patterns. Because one good day can be an act, but consistent character is difficult to fake forever. Lesson 2. Don't give everyone access to your inner world. Imagine you own a house. Would you give the keys to everyone you meet? Of course not. You might invite someone into the living room, but that doesn't mean you hand them the keys to every room. Your mind should work the same way. Not everyone needs access to everything, yet many people do the opposite. They meet someone, they feel understood, they become comfortable. Then suddenly, they reveal everything. Their biggest fears, their private problems, their future plans, their family issues, their insecurities, their ambitions. And sometimes, they discover later that the person they trusted wasn't nearly as trustworthy as they thought. The lesson isn't to become secretive. The lesson is to become selective. There are different levels of trust. You don't have to give someone complete access simply because you enjoy talking to them. Think of trust like a staircase. The first step is acquaintance. You know them. You speak occasionally. You observe how they behave. The next step is familiarity. You spend more time together. You begin learning about their character. Then comes deeper trust. You reveal more. You become vulnerable. But here's the mistake people make. They meet someone on the first step and immediately invite them to the top. Why? Because they want connection. They want to feel understood. They want someone to listen. Those desires are completely human. But emotional loneliness can make people trust too quickly. And that's when wisdom becomes essential. You don't need to become cold. You simply need to let trust develop at the same speed as evidence. If someone has shown you trustworthy behavior for years, you have evidence. If someone has known you for 3 weeks, you have much less. This doesn't mean they're bad. It means you don't know them well enough yet, and there's nothing wrong with that. Trust doesn't need to be rushed. Let time do its work. Lesson 3. Watch how people react to your boundaries. Here's one of the simplest ways to learn about someone's character. Say no. That's it. Say no. Not aggressively, not disrespectfully. Simply say, "No, I can't do that." Then watch what happens. A healthy person may be disappointed, but they can respect your decision. An unhealthy relationship may look very different. Suddenly you're selfish, difficult, ungrateful, changed, arrogant. Why? Because your boundary interrupted their access to you. This is important. Some people don't value you. They value what they can get from you, and you may not discover the difference until you stop giving. That's why boundaries are so revealing. They separate genuine connection from convenience. Imagine a person who only visits your house because you always give them food. As long as you provide the food, they're friendly. Then one day you say, "I'm sorry, I don't have anything to give today." They disappear. Did you lose a friend? Or did you discover the relationship was based on something else? Sometimes losing access to you reveals the true nature of the relationship, and that can be painful. But it's also valuable. Don't be afraid of learning the truth. Truth may hurt for a moment, but confusion can hurt for years. Lesson 4. Don't confuse someone's attention. With loyalty, someone can text you every day and still not genuinely care about your well-being. Someone can compliment you constantly and still secretly resent your success. Yes, someone can laugh at every joke and still disappear the moment life becomes difficult. Attention is not loyalty. Popularity is not friendship. Constant communication isn't necessarily intimacy. The modern world makes this especially confusing. You can have hundreds of contacts, thousands of followers, and still have very few people you can genuinely trust. Numbers don't measure loyalty. Character does. Imagine you're standing in a crowded stadium. Thousands of people are cheering. Then suddenly, you fall. The crowd continues watching. But one person walks toward you. That person may matter more than the entire crowd. Because friendship isn't measured by how many people know your name. It's measured by the quality of the people who remain when life becomes difficult. This is why you shouldn't become obsessed with being liked. Being liked by everyone is impossible. And even if it were possible, it wouldn't necessarily make you respected or understood or peaceful. You don't need everyone. You need a small number of people whose character you can trust. And until you know who those people are, it's okay to observe. Lesson 5. Learn to be comfortable without constant company. Here's where Stoicism becomes especially powerful. If you cannot be alone, you become vulnerable to almost anyone who offers companionship. Think about it. If you're terrified of being alone, you'll tolerate people who shouldn't be in your life. You'll overlook disrespect. You'll excuse manipulation. You'll accept poor treatment. Why? Because the alternative feels worse. Loneliness. But when you learn to enjoy your own company, everything changes. You can walk away. You can say no. You can spend an evening alone without feeling abandoned. You can make decisions without needing everyone's approval. You become less desperate for connection. And paradoxically, that often makes your relationships healthier. Marcus Aurelius spent much of his life surrounded by people. Yet Stoicism taught him to cultivate an inner world that didn't depend entirely on the crowd. This is an important distinction. Being alone doesn't mean rejecting people. It means knowing that your peace doesn't require constant attention from them. You can enjoy friendship. Part 2. Know. 1 is your friend. Trust wisely. Stoicism. Philosophy. There is something you need to understand before we go any further. Not everyone who leaves your life is your enemy, and not everyone who stays is your friend. Sometimes, the person who walks away is simply showing you that the relationship has reached its natural end, and sometimes, the person who stays is only waiting for another opportunity to benefit from you. This is why Stoicism teaches you to observe people without becoming consumed by them. Don't obsess over who likes you. Don't spend every night analyzing someone's behavior. Don't chase explanations from people who have already shown you who they are. Observe, learn, adjust, move forward, because your peace becomes much more powerful when you stop demanding that everyone behave the way you want them to. Lesson 6. Watch. What happens when you stop being useful? Here's one of the clearest tests of any relationship. Stop providing the thing that brought the person close to you. Maybe you always lend them money. Stop. Maybe you're always available whenever they need something. Set a boundary. Maybe you're always solving their problems. Let them solve one themselves. Maybe you're always giving them attention. Step back, then observe. Not to manipulate them, not to punish them, simply to understand the relationship. Because sometimes, you don't discover someone's intentions until you stop being useful to them. A person may have become accustomed to your generosity, your advice, your connections, your time, your resources, your emotional support. And as long as those things continue, everything appears fine. But the moment you stop providing them, the relationship changes. Suddenly they're distant. Suddenly you're different. Suddenly they don't have time for you. This can hurt, but don't immediately interpret it as rejection. Interpret it as information. Information is valuable. You have just learned something about the foundation of that relationship. Was it built on mutual respect, or was it built on what you provided? That distinction matters, and you don't need to become angry about it. The Stoic response is simple. Notice it. Accept it. Adjust accordingly. Don't demand that someone become different. Simply change how much access you give them. Lesson 7. Never tell everyone your plans. There is a powerful reason to keep some of your ambitions private. Not everyone can see your vision, and not everyone deserves access to it. When you tell people your biggest goals, you may receive encouragement, but you may also receive doubt. That's impossible. You think you're better than everyone now? Why? Don't you just stay where you are? Sometimes people criticize your dreams because they genuinely want to protect you. Sometimes they criticize them because your growth makes them uncomfortable. And sometimes they simply don't understand. You don't need to convince everyone. Let your actions speak. Imagine planting a seed. You don't dig it up every morning to check whether it's growing. You give it water. You give it time. You protect it. And eventually, the result becomes visible. Your goals can be the same. You don't need to announce every move. You don't need to tell everyone what you're building. You don't need approval before you begin. Work quietly. Learn quietly. Improve quietly. Then let the results speak when they're ready. This isn't about becoming secretive or suspicious. It's about protecting your focus. Because sometimes the more people you involve in your plans, the more opinions you have to carry. And too many opinions can create hesitation. There is a difference between seeking wise advice and seeking permission to pursue your own life. Know the difference. Lesson 8. Pay attention to how people react to your success. Here's a test that many people don't expect. Don't only watch how people treat you when you're struggling. Watch how they treat you when you're winning, when you fail. Some people feel comfortable around you. They can relate to you. They may even feel superior. But when you start improving, something changes. You become more confident. Your opportunities increase. Your financial situation improves. You start taking better care of yourself. You become more disciplined. Suddenly, someone who used to encourage you starts making little comments. You've changed. You think you're better than us now. You're taking yourself too seriously. Sometimes they are right. Success can make people arrogant. So remain humble. But don't automatically assume every criticism is jealousy. Use wisdom. Ask yourself, is this person giving me honest correction because they care about me? Or are they uncomfortable because my growth challenges their view of themselves? The difference becomes visible through patterns. A genuine friend can celebrate your success while still correcting your mistakes. They don't need you to remain small so they can feel comfortable. They can say, I'm proud of you, and also say, be careful. You're making a mistake here. That's valuable. You don't want people who only praise you. You want people who care enough to tell you the truth. Lesson 9. Learn the difference between criticism and envy. Not every person who criticizes you is against you, and not every person who praises you is for you. This is extremely important. Sometimes the person who challenges you is the person who cares most. They might say something you don't want to hear. Maybe you're being irresponsible. Maybe you're making a poor decision. Maybe you're treating someone unfairly. Maybe you're letting success go to your head. A genuine friend may tell you, that isn't betrayal. That's loyalty. The person who agrees with everything you say may actually be less trustworthy. Why? Because they are protecting the relationship instead of protecting the truth. Marcus Aurelius understood the importance of correction. A wise person doesn't surround themselves with people who constantly confirm their opinions. They want to become better, and becoming better requires hearing things that sometimes hurt. So when someone criticizes you, don't immediately become defensive. Pause. Ask, could there be truth in this? If there is, learn from it. If there isn't, let it go. Either way, you remain in control. Lesson 10. Don't chase people who choose distance. This is one of the hardest lessons to accept. Sometimes you have to let people go, not because you hate them, not because you want revenge, not because you suddenly believe they are terrible, but because relationships require mutual effort. If you're always the one reaching out, always apologizing, always initiating, always trying to repair things, at some point, you need to step back, not as a manipulation, not as a test, simply to see reality clearly. If the relationship survives only because you keep carrying it, then you aren't carrying a relationship. You're carrying a memory of one. That realization can hurt, but it can also free you. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what belongs to our control, without being dependent on it. You can appreciate someone's presence, without fearing their absence. That's freedom, and freedom changes the way you relate to people. When you no longer desperately need someone to stay, you can choose relationships based on mutual respect rather than fear. The first great test. Now imagine someone you trust suddenly changes. They become distant. They stop responding. They criticize you. Maybe they betray you. Your first instinct might be anger. How could they do this to me? But pause. This is where Stoicism asks you to take control. You cannot control their character. You cannot control their decisions. You cannot force someone to remain loyal, but you can control your response. You can decide whether betrayal turns you into a bitter person or a wiser person. This is the distinction that separates Stoic philosophy from simple cynicism. Cynicism says, everyone is terrible. Trust nobody. Wisdom says, people are imperfect. Observe carefully. Trust gradually. Keep your character regardless of theirs. That's a much stronger position, because if someone betrays you, you don't need to become like them. Their behavior is their responsibility. Your response is yours. And that brings us to one of the most powerful ideas in Stoic philosophy. Never give another person's actions control over your character. If someone lies, don't become dishonest. If someone is cruel, don't become cruel. If someone betrays you, don't betray yourself. You can walk away with your dignity intact. A story about the two travelers. Imagine two travelers walking along a difficult road. One traveler believes everyone they meet is trustworthy. They hand strangers their belongings, reveal every secret, follow every promise. Eventually, they are hurt. The second traveler makes the opposite mistake. They trust nobody. They reject every offer of help. They assume every stranger is dangerous. Eventually, they become isolated. Which traveler is wiser? Neither. One is naive. The other is paranoid. The wise traveler walks between them. They remain open, but observant, kind, but not careless, trusting, but not blind. That's the balance Stoicism teaches. You don't need to hate humanity to protect yourself. You simply need to understand it, and that is only the beginning. Because there is an even deeper danger than trusting the wrong person. It's trusting someone simply because you desperately want them to be the person you imagine them to be. Sometimes we don't see people clearly because we're observing them. We see them through our hopes. We want them to be loyal, so we ignore the warning signs. We want them to care, so we explain away their behavior. We want the friendship to work, so we tolerate things we would immediately recognize as unhealthy in someone else's relationship. There is something you need to understand before we go any further. Not everyone who leaves your life is your enemy, and not everyone who stays is your friend. Sometimes, the person who walks away is simply showing you that the relationship has reached its natural end. And sometimes, the person who stays is only waiting for another opportunity to benefit from you. This is why Stoicism teaches you to observe people without becoming consumed by them. Don't obsess over who likes you. Don't spend every night analyzing someone's behavior. Don't chase explanations from people who have already shown you who they are. Observe, learn, adjust, move forward, because your peace becomes much more powerful when you stop demanding that everyone behave the way you want them to. Lesson 6. Watch. What happens when you stop being useful? Here's one of the clearest tests of any relationship. Stop providing the thing that brought the person close to you. Maybe you always lend them money. Stop. Maybe you're always available whenever they need something. Set a boundary. Maybe you're always solving their problems. Let them solve one themselves. Maybe you're always giving them attention. Step back, then observe, not to manipulate them, not to punish them, simply to understand the relationship. Because sometimes, you don't discover someone's intentions until you stop being useful to them. A person may have become accustomed to your generosity, your advice, your connections, your time, your resources, your emotional support. And as long as those things continue, everything appears fine. But the moment you stop providing them, the relationship changes. Suddenly they're distant. Suddenly you're different. Suddenly they don't have time for you. This can hurt. But don't immediately interpret it as rejection. Interpret it as information. Information is valuable. You have just learned something about the foundation of that relationship. Was it built on mutual respect, or was it built on what you provided? That distinction matters, and you don't need to become angry about it. The Stoic response is simple. Notice it, accept it, adjust accordingly. Don't demand that someone become different. Simply change how much access you give them. Lesson 7. Never tell everyone your plans. There is a powerful reason to keep some of your ambitions private. Not everyone can see your vision, and not everyone deserves access to it. When you tell people your biggest goals, you may receive encouragement, but you may also receive doubt. That's impossible. You think you're better than everyone now? Why? Don't you just stay where you are? Sometimes people criticize your dreams because they genuinely want to protect you. Sometimes they criticize them because your growth makes them uncomfortable. And sometimes they simply don't understand. You don't need to convince everyone. Let your actions speak. Imagine planting a seed. You don't dig it up every morning to check whether it's growing. You give it water. You give it time. You protect it. And eventually, the result becomes visible. Your goals can be the same. You don't need to announce every move. You don't need to tell everyone what you're building. You don't need approval before you begin. Work quietly, learn quietly, improve quietly, then let the results speak when they're ready. This isn't about becoming secretive or suspicious. It's about protecting your focus. Because sometimes the more people you involve in your plans, the more opinions you have to carry. And too many opinions can create hesitation. There is a difference between seeking wise advice and seeking permission to pursue your own life. Know the difference. Lesson 8. Pay attention to how people react to your success. Here's a test that many people don't expect. Don't only watch how people treat you when you're struggling. Watch how they treat you when you're winning. When you fail. Some people feel comfortable around you. They can relate to you. They may even feel superior. But when you start improving, something changes. You become more confident. Your opportunities increase. Your financial situation improves. You start taking better care of yourself. You become more disciplined. Suddenly, someone who used to encourage you starts making little comments. You've changed. You think you're better than us now. You're taking yourself too seriously. Sometimes they are right. Success can make people arrogant. So remain humble. But don't automatically assume every criticism is jealousy. Use wisdom. Ask yourself, is this person giving me honest correction because they care about me, or are they uncomfortable because my growth challenges their view of themselves? The difference becomes visible through patterns. A genuine friend can celebrate your success while still correcting your mistakes. They don't need you to remain small so they can feel comfortable. They can say, I'm proud of you, and also say, be careful, you're making a mistake here. That's valuable. You don't want people who only praise you. You want people who care enough to tell you the truth. Lesson 9. Learn the difference between criticism and envy. Not every person who criticizes you is against you, and not every person who praises you is for you. This is extremely important. Sometimes the person who challenges you is the person who cares most. They might say something you don't want to hear. Maybe you're being irresponsible. Maybe you're making a poor decision. Maybe you're treating someone unfairly. Maybe you're letting success go to your head. A genuine friend may tell you, that isn't betrayal. That's loyalty. The person who agrees with everything you say may actually be less trustworthy. Why? Because they are protecting the relationship instead of protecting the truth. Marcus Aurelius understood the importance of correction. A wise person doesn't surround themselves with people who constantly confirm their opinions. They want to become better, and becoming better requires hearing things that sometimes hurt. So when someone criticizes you, don't immediately become defensive. Pause, ask, could there be truth in this? If there is, learn from it. If there isn't, let it go. Either way, you remain in control. Lesson 10. Don't chase people who choose distance. This is one of the hardest lessons to accept. Sometimes, you have to let people go. Not because you hate them, not because you want revenge, not because you suddenly believe they are terrible, but because relationships require mutual effort. If you're always the one reaching out, always apologizing, always initiating, always trying to repair things, at some point you need to step back, not as a manipulation, not as a test, simply to see reality clearly. If the relationship survives only because you keep carrying it, then you aren't carrying a relationship. You're carrying a memory of one. That realization can hurt, but it can also free you. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what belongs to our control. You can control your effort. You cannot control another person's willingness to reciprocate. You can offer kindness. You cannot force someone to appreciate it. You can apologize. You cannot force them to forgive. You can show up. You cannot force them to stay, and once you understand that, you stop chasing. You stop begging. You stop trying to control another person's choice. You simply say, I wish you well, and continue walking. The Stoic rule of emotional independence. Imagine giving another person a remote control and telling them they can control your mood. If they text you, you're happy. If they don't, you're anxious. If they compliment you, you feel valuable. If they criticize you, you feel worthless. If they stay, you feel secure. If they leave, your entire world collapses. Who has control? They do. You handed it to them. This is precisely what Stoic philosophy warns against. Your inner state should not be completely dependent on external events. People will praise you. People will criticize you. People will stay. People will leave. People will misunderstand you. People will disappoint you. You cannot control all of that, but you can control your judgment about it. You can say, this hurts, but I will not allow it to destroy me. I didn't deserve that treatment, but I don't need revenge. This person left, but my life continues. They misunderstood me, but I know my intentions. That is emotional independence. It doesn't mean you don't feel. It means your feelings don't become your master. The most important question. Now ask yourself something uncomfortable. Are you trying too hard to be liked? Think about it. How many decisions do you make because you genuinely want to make them? And how many do you make because you're afraid someone will be disappointed? Maybe you say yes when you want to say no. Maybe you laugh when something isn't funny. Maybe you hide your opinions because you fear judgment. Maybe you tolerate disrespect because you're afraid of losing the relationship. But what happens when you spend your life trying to keep everyone happy? You lose yourself. You become a version of yourself designed for other people's approval. And eventually, you don't even know what you actually want anymore. The Stoics understood that freedom requires independence from the crowd, not isolation, independence. You can listen to advice. You can respect people's opinions. You can care deeply about others. But ultimately, you must decide what kind of person you want to be. Your inner circle should be small. You don't need hundreds of people. You don't even need dozens, a few trustworthy. Relationships can be more valuable than a massive social circle. Look for people who keep their word, respect your boundaries, tell you the truth, celebrate your progress, don't constantly compete with you, don't use your weaknesses against you, respect your privacy, admit when they're wrong, support your growth, and most importantly, make you a better person simply by being around them. Those people are rare. If you find them, appreciate them. Don't take them for granted, because wise trust isn't about assuming everyone is dangerous. It's about recognizing that genuine character is valuable precisely because it is uncommon. Don't become cynical. Now we need to make an important distinction. After being betrayed, it's tempting to say, nobody can be trusted, but that conclusion can become another prison. One person betrayed. You don't punish everyone else for their actions. One friend disappointed you. Don't assume every future friend will do the same. One relationship ended badly. Don't decide that every relationship is destined to fail. That isn't wisdom. That's fear pretending to be wisdom. Stoicism doesn't ask you to close your heart. It asks you to strengthen your judgment. Become wiser, not colder. Become more selective, not hateful. Become more independent, not isolated. You can still love people. You can still build friendships. You can still help others. You can still trust. Just don't abandon yourself in the process. And now we're approaching the most important part of this entire message, because learning to recognize other people's character is useful. But there is someone whose character you must examine even more closely: yourself. Lesson 11. Don't let betrayal become your identity. Betrayal hurts because trust is an investment. You give someone access to your thoughts, your time, your vulnerability, your life. And when that trust is broken, it can feel as if something inside you has been damaged. You may start questioning everything. Was any of it real? How could I have been so blind? How could someone I trusted do this? These questions are natural, but eventually, you have to stop asking what you cannot change. The person made their choice. The event happened. The past cannot be rewritten. What remains within your control is what you do next. You can spend years replaying the betrayal, or you can extract the lesson. Maybe you learned that you trusted too quickly. Maybe you ignored warning signs. Maybe you confused attention with loyalty. Maybe you tolerated behavior you should have addressed earlier. Take the lesson. Leave the bitterness. That's one of the strongest things you can do, because if someone hurts you and you allow that experience to make you cruel, then their actions continue controlling you. But if you become wiser, more thoughtful, more disciplined, then the experience becomes part of your education, not your identity. Lesson 12. Forgiveness doesn't mean giving someone access. Again, this is a lesson many people misunderstand. Forgiveness does not mean pretending nothing happened. It doesn't mean trusting someone immediately, and it doesn't mean allowing someone to repeatedly hurt you. You can forgive someone and still maintain distance. You can wish someone well and still decide they don't belong in your inner circle. You can release anger without restoring access. Think of a door. Forgiveness may mean you stop standing at the door every morning thinking about what happened. But that doesn't mean you have to hand the person a key. There is a difference between peace and permission. Peace means I'm no longer allowing this event to control my mind. Permission means you can return and do the same thing again. Those are completely different. Wise people understand the difference. If someone genuinely changes, time and consistent behavior can demonstrate that. But you don't have to rush. Let actions speak. Let time confirm character. And if someone doesn't change, you can peacefully continue without them. Lesson 13. Don't try to make everyone understand you. Here's another trap. You explain yourself again and again and again. You want someone to understand your intentions. You want them to know you weren't trying to hurt them. You want them to recognize what you meant, so you keep explaining. But sometimes, people have already decided what they want to believe, and no amount of explanation will change their mind. This is where Stoicism teaches you to release the need for universal approval. You know your intentions. You know what you did. You know what you didn't do. If you've made a mistake, own it. If you've hurt someone, apologize sincerely. If you were wrong, correct yourself. But once you've done what is within your control, stop chasing someone's approval. Because trying to control another person's opinion is an endless job. There will always be someone who misunderstands you. Someone who doesn't like you. Someone who interprets your actions incorrectly. Someone who tells a different version of the story. You cannot control all of that. Your responsibility is your character. Let your behavior speak over time. Lesson 14. Stop taking everything personally. Someone doesn't invite you somewhere. Someone doesn't reply to your message. Someone criticizes your work. Someone chooses another person. Immediately, your mind begins creating a story. They don't respect me. They must hate me. I'm not good enough. But pause. You don't know the full story. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they're dealing with their own problems. Maybe they made a decision that had nothing to do with you. Maybe they simply don't want the same relationship you want. And even if they genuinely don't like you, does that determine your worth? No. One of the most freeing realizations in life is understanding that other people's opinions are not objective measurements of your value. People see you through their own experiences, their fears, their preferences, their expectations, their insecurities. Two people can look at the same person and see completely different things. So don't build your identity around someone else's judgment. Listen when criticism contains useful information. Ignore insults that contain nothing valuable, and keep moving. Lesson 15. Learn to observe. Without immediately reacting, imagine someone says something disrespectful to you. Your first instinct is to respond. Your emotions rise. Your heart beats faster. You want to prove yourself. You want the final word. But what if you simply paused, one breath, then another, and asked, what response would make me proud tomorrow? That's a powerful question, because emotions often demand immediate action. Wisdom can wait. Anger says, answer now. Wisdom says, think first. Fear says, do something. Wisdom says, understand what is happening. Pride says, you must win this argument. Wisdom says, is this argument worth your peace? That pause is where self-control lives. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to correct everyone. You don't have to win every argument. Sometimes the strongest response is no response at all. Not because you're weak, because you've decided that your peace is more valuable than the argument. The Stoic pause tree. This the next time someone provokes you. Before responding, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself 3 questions. What happened? Separate facts from assumptions. What am I feeling? Name the emotion instead of becoming it. What response serves my values? Then act. This simple pause can prevent countless regrets. Because once words leave your mouth, you can't pull them back. Once you send the message, you can't unsend the emotion behind it. Once you damage trust, repair can take much longer than the anger lasted. Control the moment, and you protect the future. Lesson 16. Don't expect everyone to think like you. One reason relationships become difficult is that we secretly expect other people to behave according to our standards. We think, if I would never do that to them, they shouldn't do it to me. But people aren't identical. You may value loyalty differently. They may value freedom. You may communicate directly. They may avoid conflict. You may believe friendship means constant communication. They may believe friendship allows months of silence. Different doesn't automatically mean wrong. This doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect. It means you learn to distinguish between difference and disrespect. Someone can have different preferences without being your enemy. Someone can disagree with you without hating you. Someone can choose a different path without betraying you. This distinction prevents unnecessary conflict. You don't need everyone to see life the way you do. You need to know what you value and find people whose values are compatible with yours. Lesson 17, don't make one person. Your entire world, this is especially important. Never build your entire identity around one person. Not a friend, not a partner, not a family member, not anyone. People change. Circumstances change. Relationships change. Life changes. If your entire sense of purpose depends on one person's presence, then their absence can feel like the end of your world. Build a life larger than any one relationship. Have interests. Learn. Work toward meaningful goals. Take care of your responsibilities. Spend time with different people. Develop your own values. Become comfortable with yourself. Then relationships become something you add to your life, not something that becomes your entire life. That's emotional strength. Lesson 18. Choose people. Based on character, not status. Sometimes we're impressed by the wrong things. Money, popularity, appearance, connections, influence, confidence. But none of those automatically indicate character. A person can have everything and still be dishonest. Another person can have very little and possess extraordinary integrity. So, look deeper. How do they treat people who can't benefit them? Do they keep promises? Do they admit mistakes? Do they respect boundaries? Do they gossip about everyone? If they constantly reveal other people's secrets, why would you assume your secrets are safe? Do they celebrate other people's success? Or do they immediately turn everything into competition? Do they take responsibility? Or is every problem always someone else's fault? These questions reveal much more than someone's image. Character isn't always loud. Sometimes it's incredibly ordinary. Someone keeping a promise. Someone returning what they borrowed. Someone admitting they were wrong. Someone refusing to embarrass another person for attention. These small behaviors tell you who someone really is. The character test. Here's a simple rule to remember. Watch patterns, not performances. Anyone can perform kindness for an afternoon. Anyone can act loyal for a week. Anyone can say the right words. But patterns are harder to fake. Look at what happens repeatedly. If someone constantly lies, that's a pattern. If someone consistently keeps their word, that's a pattern. If someone repeatedly respects your boundaries, that's a pattern. If someone repeatedly makes you feel guilty for having boundaries, that's also a pattern. Don't obsess over one mistake, but don't ignore repeated behavior either. Wisdom lives somewhere between those two extremes. Lesson 19. Your peace is more valuable than being right. Imagine winning an argument, but losing your entire evening to anger. Was that really a victory? You proved your point, but your mind is still replaying the conversation hours later. You're thinking about what you should have said, what they should have said, what you'll say next time. You're physically somewhere else, but mentally, you're still inside the argument. This is why Stoicism places such importance on controlling your response. You don't have to attend every battle you're invited to. Someone can misunderstand you. You can let them. Someone can have the wrong opinion. You can let them. Someone can say something provocative. You can remain calm. Your peace isn't something you should hand over every time another person says something you dislike. Ask yourself, will this matter tomorrow? If the answer is no, don't let it consume today. The people you should keep close after everything we've discussed. You might be wondering, then who should I trust? Look for people who make trust easier. People whose actions match their words. People who respect your no. People who don't need you to be smaller for them to feel bigger. People who can celebrate your success without turning it into competition. People who can correct you without humiliating you. People who don't use your vulnerability as entertainment. People who don't constantly create drama. People who take responsibility for their mistakes. People who respect your privacy. People who remain consistent when circumstances change. These people don't have to be perfect. Nobody is. The goal isn't perfection, it's character. A trustworthy person can make mistakes, but they can acknowledge them. They can apologize. They can change. They can learn. That's what makes trust possible. The most powerful form of trust, and now we arrive at something deeper. The most important trust you'll ever build isn't trust in another person, it's trust in yourself. Think about it. If someone leaves, can you trust yourself to keep moving? If someone betrays you, can you trust yourself to recover? If someone rejects you, can you trust yourself not to destroy your own confidence? If you make a mistake, can you trust yourself to learn rather than give up? That's the foundation. Because when you trust yourself, you don't need to desperately hold on to people. You don't need to beg someone to stay. You don't need to convince someone to value you. You don't need everyone's approval. You know, whatever happens, I will handle it. That is real security. Not knowing that everyone will stay, but knowing that you will remain standing even when someone doesn't. When someone leaves, there will be moments when someone you care about walks away. Don't pretend it doesn't hurt. It may hurt deeply. Let yourself acknowledge that, but don't turn pain into a permanent residence. A relationship can end and still have been meaningful. Someone can leave and still have taught you something valuable. A chapter can close without making the entire book meaningless. Wish them well if you can. Learn what you need to learn. Keep the memories that deserve keeping. Release what needs releasing. And continue. Because your life is bigger than one relationship. Much bigger. We're approaching the final part of this journey, and the final lessons are perhaps the most important, because we've talked about recognizing trustworthy people, setting boundaries, handling betrayal, forgiving, letting go, and becoming emotionally independent. But there is one final transformation. You need to become the kind of person who doesn't need to control other people's behavior in order to remain peaceful.